Alright guys, Chris Contreras here, base team, California, here with Michael Orr. We are out here at Gothels Creek Beach. Gonna take Michael Orr up to his hometown, to his old stomping ground, his old neck of the woods, the neighborhood where he grew up. 57 acres out on Whitehouse Canyon Road. I was a little too scared to go up this road because it has a sign that has a gun on it and says protected by neighbors, private road. So now I got Michael. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna go check it out and go back to where he had his encounter. So we will be en route in about a moment from now. Over and out for now. Alright, so Chris Contreras and Michael Orr, we're here. We're going down Whitehouse Canyon Road. This is a private road. Michael Orr used to live here on 57 acres. We're at the beginning of the wood line where it starts to go in on the canyon. Several times throughout the year living on the 57 acres, Michael Orr reported hearing Klamath screams, which we'll play right now.
That's it right there. That animal lives here.
Now Michael Orr, he is an owner of a Mini 14 ranch rifle, and they're chambered in .223, which is most used pretty much for predator, varmint type animals on the ranch that are pests, mainly coyotes and animals in that nature, you know, badgers, stuff like that, that'll, you know, cause problems on the ranch or whatever on your property, wherever you live. But it's a ranch rifle. It's meant for killing coyotes, and he had 80 rounds at his disposal and went out there to go and handle this thing that was screaming, but it was so loud that it just didn't feel like it was going to take care of the job. So you know, it's just one of those things.
Something that screams like a fire engine like that.
He caught some flack from people in the Bigfoot community saying, oh, it was probably coyotes. And you know, I for one, being familiar with that gun, knowing that he owned a gun, you know, with 80 rounds of coyote rounds, you know, I for one know you're not going to be intimidated by you know, a coyote or even a pack of coyotes for that matter. So whatever screamed at Michael Orr is the same thing that I heard screaming at me up in Mount Shasta National Forest and the Six Rivers National Forest as well. And so I'll just be, you know, the first to say that that scream that I played, it is not anything that we're familiar with. It's not anything that is at a zoo anywhere that you can go and listen to. It's completely alien to what we're familiar with in the forests of Northern California. And as you can see here, Whitehouse Canyon.
We're coming up on Steinlager Gulch right here on the left. Yeah. Right there, dude.
And this
is Steinlager Gulch right here.
This is where he used to throw his beer after work. You know, he'd come and get himself a beer for on the way home.
That's simple, right? Yeah.
But
here we go in the canyon now.
We're right up in here.
We're getting into the redwoods now. There you go. This is my home right now.
Our base team, Chris Contreras, We're out here on location with Michael Orr, Whitehouse Canyon Road, east of Pigeon Point Lighthouse, on his old property. Back there was his old house. And Michael Orr, you can take it from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it was like in October '98. There was some animal screaming like the Klamath scream, and we've heard it for years, from like '82. But it was screaming like a fire engine. Like 1 in the morning, I went over and woke up my dad. He was living in a little house away from the big house. And I woke him up, banged on the door, and said, "Hey, what is that? What is this?" And he's like, oh. I said, "Let's find out what it is." Oh, you know. So I went back to my house, got my Craftsman flashlight, shine 100 yards, strong flashlight, my Mini 14 with 2 clips, you know, taped together, 40 rounders. They were legal back then.
Yeah.
So I started walking my flashlight from this road, and I was walking up here, and it's screaming right there, dude. That sucker's screaming right up here. So I'm walking this pitch dark. It's 1 in the morning. So I walk up, all the way up to. There's a thing called Johnny's Trailer up here. You know, there's a trailer house up here. So I walked up to exactly right here, this spot. I'm here with a flashlight. I'm shining up on that hill, and it's right there though. The scream's coming from there. And I'm shining up. And I stood here for like 3 minutes with that thing screaming every 40 seconds. Just like you hear, you know, like what John Fried's recorded. And I had my Mini 14, I'm in a bathrobe, I'm barefooted. And I'm like, what the hell is this? What in the hell is this? You know, I'm thinking, I'm just quiet. And it's right there. It's like 40 feet from here. It's like right there. And I'm like, and all of a sudden I started, the hair on the back of my neck stood up. And I went like this. I didn't shoot. I backed all the way up till I got down here. I'm doing this. Now, what? In 98 I was 34 years old. I mean, construction worker, and I ain't scared of nothing. I got 40 rounds. I know what I can, you know what I mean? I didn't shoot it.
All you had to do is...
I didn't even shoot nothing. I wasn't scared to.
You could flip that up.
How the hell you scare me, man? I hitchhiked Europe by myself.
Yeah.
You know, walk Chicago without a weapon.
40
What
rounds.
the hell?
You flip that upside down and you got another 40 rounds.
Yeah.
Really...
So I went all the way back until I hit the road there. I walked backwards to there, and then I started hurriedly get back in the house. And that was the big encounter. And then I would sit. This sucker, it would scream on one side of the canyon, and then in a minute or two, it's over there screaming. Yeah. And I'd sit. There was a deck. It's a big house over there. I'd sit on the deck and listen to it. Like this time of day, sometimes it would start up. Even, well, not as much sunlight, but you know, just before it gets dark, it'd start up again every once in a while. And you can never get tired of hearing that sucker. Over and over and over. Sometimes you can hear it farther off down in the canyon doing not the type of, you know, like the barking laugh.
Oh yeah, the hyena.
Laugh. Not the hoot you hear.
The kind of hyena cackle.
Yeah, the hyena cackle.
Yeah.
And then it'd go off on that screen.
And you had a neighbor in here.
There's several different types of vocals with it.
You had a neighbor in here,
right? But I'm
an
expert at it, dude. It's like, I've heard it for 18 years, living here, off and on.
Didn't you call one of your neighbors once and play the same play?
Yeah, Deacon.
Yeah.
When I went to Oklahoma, I discovered it on the internet. I said, it's the same recording. What the hell? So I called Deacon up. I said, hey, Deacon, I'm in Sulphur, Oklahoma. I said, hey, you got to hear this and play. Where'd you get that at? I go, it's on the internet. It says it's a purported Bigfoot scream. He goes, that thing is right by my door. He's from Mississippi. He's got that accent. and the southern accent, but man, anyway.
How's it feel to be back in your...
This is my homeland,
yeah,
dude.
this is home.
Living in Oklahoma for like 16 and a half years, and then I'm here. I've been up here. This is my homeland, dude. I was born right over the hill. And guess what? We're on the San Francisco Peninsula.
And I know it must have been shocking hearing something that you couldn't put a face or a whatever on, but when you finally came across it on the internet and then found out that it was a purported Sasquatch sound, how did that make you feel?
That got me wanting to see identify the animal that is making that scream. Well, Bigfoot here, dude. 15 miles over the hills, San Jose.
Yeah.
You know, well, but what is that?
He's corralled.
Never seen the animals that's made the scream, and then never seen footprints here.
He's corralled into this canyon. There's nobody. This canyon's only resident to probably about maybe 10 families at the best.
Yeah.
And for the rest of it, it's off limits. As you can see all over the place, though, there's food all over the place. Looks like something nibbled this.
Yeah, there's one up on the hill there. Look at that one.
Giant mushrooms.
Right there. See that one right there?
Yeah, there's mushrooms. Mushrooms growing all over the place here, and man, you name it. It's there's all kinds of, there's all kinds of food out here. There's plenty of, the fish are in the streams now, and there's just.
I've never heard a regular coyote scream here in this canyon. I've never heard a coyote. You know how the yips of the coyotes and stuff?
So it's
they don't exist here. I've never heard one here.
Even hearing one of them.
I've been here all my life.
Hearing one of them would be alien to this canyon.
No, there's no coyotes here.
Yeah, so.
Seen coyotes a long time ago down by the beach and stuff, but not here, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
That rules it out, man. That's the Squatch.
Yeah. How's the coyote scream like a fire engine?
No, they don't.
Did God
they don't have.
Mother Nature make something like that?
God doesn't build coyotes that big.
No doubt.
That's always been my saying. God doesn't make coyotes that big and mean.
No.
Yeah.
But you're in the redwoods here, dude. This is.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all.
This is the real redwoods.
This is all second growth trees. I mean, these trees. It's beautiful in here. It's pretty pristine. It would be a privilege to live in this canyon by any means.
Check out the sun.
Yeah.
See, at 3:30 the sun goes down in that part of the canyon. It's up in the trees now, but
now
that's where my dad.
When you first moved here, at what age? How old were you when you first moved?
When I first moved here?
Yeah, when you.
Well, I first started coming up here when I was 1964.
1964.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we had a friend of the family. It was like family that lived here from the 1920s. And his name was George Hinkey, and he had the encounter up about a mile up the canyon when he lived in a tent in 1982 growing marijuana. And that's when it was poop. It would scream outside his tent.
It was pooping on top
of. He had a certain place where he.
It was pooping on his poop, huh?
Yeah, it would poop all over his poop.
Marking his poop.
It would scream outside his tent. He fired through his tent one time because it was like the scream was right there by me. It was right by his tent.
Wow.
Yeah, and
firing through the tent.
And then one time he said he heard the thing dragging a deer.
Jeez.
I said, George, how do you know it's a deer? He said, I know deer. It squeaks and moans and
Yeah.
They have a certain when they dying, they let people they have a dying moan to them.
Firing.
You heard that,
Firing.
That was in 1982.
Firing through the tent's almost like the De La Tov Pass incident. I mean, they had cut a little porthole through.
It sounds like it.
Yeah,
You
could tell he was definitely distressed.
Yeah.
Going through that, and so imagine. So, in the canyon here, at what age would you think? Would you say you were when you first heard the screams here in the canyon?
1982.
1982. Yeah. Okay.
Late of 82.
And then when you finally got fed up with it,
98.
98.
98 was that night.
That was the night.
October 98.
October 1998.
Yeah, that's when it was really. It wouldn't. It'd be gone for a year or two, and we'd hear it from a distance. But in '98, it was like a freaking air raid warnings. What is this?
Yeah.
Or that's that animal again.
And you said, "Screw this! I'm gonna go and find.
You know when we
I'm gonna make
got
it."
the camcorders in '84 when they had the people taking movies.
Yeah.
My dad and I missed the scream then, but at the night or the morning after the scream, they interviewed all these relatives from Oklahoma that were here.
Yeah.
They're going, "Hey, you hear Bigfoot scream on the mountain?" They're pointing. It was right here, pointing up on that mountain, and they're giving, "Yeah, I don't know what it was. It really was loud." But I didn't hear it at that time. I didn't at that particular screaming incident. I didn't hear it. Now I missed it. I was probably up in the Deer Creek or Mount Lassen foothills, backpacking or something. But
wow.
but just like it is now, you would start to hear there go off like this time of day.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you?
I would be sitting over there, so I had a view of the south side of the canyon. But anyway. See these second growth redwood trees?
Yeah.
You know how they grow in a ring like that a little bit?
Yeah.
They cut the original one down, and these trees fruited out of the roots.
Oh yeah.
That's how the redwoods do?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, gee, that's
it's pristine in here. All the trees, all the second growth. I mean, you got some tall trees up in here. And
Douglas fir right there.
Yeah, and
little baby Douglas fir.
You hardly ever see
apples.
You hardly ever see Douglas firs this big anywhere except for in parks. So I mean,
this far south.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go to Oregon and Washington.
Yeah. Yeah, this is amazing in here.
Yeah.
Very nice.
The water tank I built up here. I bet it's still up there. Just about 100 yards from here.
Now, if you kept going up this road here, you would go up to the Chalk Mountain Road.
No, the dead ends up here.
Dead ends,
is that still
yeah. How do you get up to the Chalk?
The other road. There's a road that goes up that way.
You say you'd hear it like over here, but then sometimes you hear it all the way up on that.
I'd be at home. I'd hear it, on one side of the canyon and the other side, and then down the canyon with the bark and laugh. The Klamath scream is kind of like the whistling scream part of its call.
Yeah.
It'll descend. It'll do that, and then it'll descend to the barking laugh.
Yeah.
And then it'll start up with a whistling scream. That's all the best.
Now,
way
when you heard it scream, and then you hear it in a different direction, do you think that was the same animal screaming that made it to the other spot?
I could never identify that if there
was two. Yeah.
Well, there was never two at the same time.
Okay.
I assumed it was one animal.
Just hauling.
That animal moved from there to there. Quickly.
Quick.
Or, whatever. Well, what the hell's it doing?
Quicker than we can do, yeah.
Usually it happened in October, November, so I assume it's in its rut, whatever it is. But what gets me is I didn't have the guts to go, well, actually, I didn't have the guts to hey, let's shoot 80 rounds, 40 rounds.
Yeah.
Well, I tell people in Oklahoma about it, and
they don't know those guys. Yeah, probably newbies, but
Well, I'll find out who they are.
Yeah.
You want to go talk to them?
Go ask them. Yeah. It don't hurt to ask. I think they've taken off. So at the end of this video, we never did a formal outro. Like end of the video. You see Michael Orr walking up the road there in the canyon. Was going to go and engage conversation with the people we saw there. It ended up being his neighbors, and that was totally cool because we got to reconnect with his old neighbors that he hadn't talked to for over 15 years. We shot the bull over a few beers and just caught up on old times, and I really had a great time out there in the canyon with Michael Orr. It was a great experience, broadening the horizons of what's going on and what's happened out there. So I really felt privileged to be able to go out there in the canyon, and it was my pleasure to help put the video together and edit it. I apologize on some of the parts because the new editing program didn't go as planned, but we got it together, and here's your video, Michael Orr. I'll talk to you soon, brother. Peace out.